All right, good morning. It's now 9 a.m. The monthly meeting of the Fairfield Glade Community Club Board of Directors will come to order. This morning's meeting is open to all members of the Community Club and is being recorded for viewing for the Community Club website. We are also live streaming this morning's meeting for member viewing. To honor America, please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence to remember those serving in uniform and defending freedom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Pat, would you please call the roll of the board members?
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Floral?
Here.
Mrs. Galloway? Here. Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mrs. Miller? Mrs. Storr? Here. Mr. Wedgeworth?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have 6 board members present, therefore there is a quorum.
Thank you, Pat. First item on the agenda, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the prior board meeting held on March 24th, 2022?
Motion to approve the March 24 minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The minutes of the March 24th, 2022 board meeting are approved. This morning we have some guests in the audience. We have Cumberland County Mayor Alan Foster, we have our 9th District Commissioner Colleen Mall, and we have our 6th District Commissioner Joe Sherrill in the audience. Mayor Foster, would you like to make a few comments?
You'll be glad to know I'm going to be brief, Ken. I'd like sometimes. Really don't have much of an update. The county is kind of in between things. The county is really kind of in between things right now with the election. Reminder, though, that today is the last day to early vote. If you want to early vote, North Side Lane today by 5 o'clock. Otherwise, the primary is next Tuesday at 3, and you'll vote at your individual precincts. Other than that, county is about to start budget all-day session next week, and we'll be moving into all that. And that's all I have, and I'll be around if anyone needs to speak to me.
Okay, thank you. I would tell you that I went down and did early voting. The facility is beautiful, plenty of room, and the folks seem just thrilled to death to be in that new building. So.
Well, thanks, and there's more work to come on that. It's a work in progress, but it is getting there. Thank you.
Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, I'd like to share the following comments from across the board. On March 30th, we announced that our Fairfield Glade Police Chief Mike Williams had accepted a position with the Tennessee Board of Regents as Assistant Vice Chancellor and Chief of Police for the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology. This is an extraordinary professional opportunity for Chief Williams and reflects how highly respected he is within the law enforcement community throughout Tennessee. While we are all proud of Chief Williams and wish him only the very best in his new exciting opportunity, we're very sad to see him leave the Fairfield Glade community. When Chief Williams became our Chief of Public Safety 7 years ago, we were all very impressed with his long list of professional accomplishments in the United States Marine Corps and his numerous assignments with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. He quickly refocused his leadership skills as a dedicated law enforcement professional on building a team of exceptional law enforcement professionals that would deliver world-class police services for the Fairfield Glade community. We are all well aware of the state, national, and international honors that our Fairfield Glade Police Department has received under Chief Williams' leadership, becoming only the 25th law enforcement agency out of over 600 agencies in Tennessee to be dual accredited by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies and the Tennessee Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. By all counts, he has accomplished his objectives with flying colors and has delivered on providing a textbook example of 21st century community policing. More importantly, Chief Williams has instilled in every member of our Fairfield Glade Police Department what it means to serve our community. Chief Williams has led by example with his personal support of the Fairfield Glade Neighborhood Watch Coalition. He implemented the Fairfield Glade Police Department Citizens Academy, created the Fairfield Glade Police Department Auxiliary, has volunteered his personal time as a member of the Fairfield Glade Rotary Club, worked with Fairfield Glade Resident Services, and is a founding member and the current Board of Directors President of the Veterans and First Responders Memorial at Fairfield Glade. On behalf of the members of the Community Club Board of Directors, your fellow Community Club team members, and a grateful Fairfield Glade community, we salute your service to our community. We will always honor the sacrifices you have made, and we will cherish the memories of the time we have shared together. Thank you for a job well done, and may God bless you and protect you as you serve the citizens of Tennessee. I also want to take this opportunity to introduce our new interim police chief, Lieutenant Kate Self, is sitting back there next to Mike. Kate? The Community Club Election Committee will be announcing the beginning of the 2022 Fairfield Glade Board of Directors election process in May. This year we will elect one director at large, the interval owner or timeshare representative to the board, and the developer representative to the board. The 7 members of the board of directors are each elected for a 3-year term. They are eligible to serve 2 terms, are required to be a member in good standing, and must have owned real property in Fairfield Glade for at least 3 years prior to taking office at the annual membership meeting on September 16th. Fairfield Glade Community Club is a property owners association, and each membership parcel is allocated 1 vote in the election process. Applications to be considered as an at-large candidate will be available beginning on Monday, May 9th, and must be submitted by 12 noon on Friday, June 3rd. The interval owner or timeshare representative to the board is nominated by the Timeshare Association's presidents, and the developer declarant representative to the board is nominated by the declarant. A Meet the Candidates event is scheduled for Thursday, July 28th. Electronic balloting begins on Monday, August 8th, and ends on Friday, September 2nd at 11:59. The results of the election are announced at the 2022 annual membership meeting held at 10 a.m. on Friday, September 16th. Newly elected members of the Board of Directors begin their term of office at the annual membership meeting and participate in the election of the Board of Directors officers immediately following the annual membership meeting. Officers of the Board of Directors serve for a 1-year term. In response to the comments from our members looking for a variety of dining options, this winter we tried a different approach with some new dining options using both the Stonehenge Grill and the Center. Theme nights like Mardi Gras night, our Island night on Monday evenings from 4 to 8 p.m. were offered at Stonehenge Grill. We also held a chicken and pasta night at Stonehenge Grill, a Christmas brunch at the Center, New Year's Eve dinner at Stonehenge Grill, and our Easter brunch at the Center. Other special events like Mother's Day on May 8th will be provided by our Stonehenge Grill team here at the Center. The first Sunday of each month, we are offering a buffet brunch from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and a dinner buffet from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Here are the latest updates on our major capital projects. At the Racquet Center, once we have warmer weather, we plan to install landscaping and pave both Racquet Center parking lots with a crossover area at the north end. We've received the initial construction bids for the next phase of the Robin Hood Park expansion project for a pavilion with restrooms, bocce courts, and hard surface paths. Based upon the initial bids, we will reevaluate the timing of our next steps in the process and may consider deferring some of the work until next year due to rising construction costs. The Marina dock expansion project includes the addition of 20 slips at the Dartmoor Marina and 8 additional slips at the St. George Marina. The installer will begin positioning the docks at St. George next week, and then we'll move on to Lake Dartmoor. We continue to work with the architect and have received cost estimates for the alternative renovations to update the Heatherhurst snack bar area. Since the cost estimates are within our budget of $350,000, we have engaged our architect to finalize the plans so that we can get final costs from our contractor. Actual construction will be deferred until the end of the 2022 golf season. The Druid Hills Advanced Planning Team continues to work on initial planning process to determine what the next Druid Hills Clubhouse facility should provide for our growing community. The team has interviewed candidates for the Druid Hills Food and Beverage Subcommittee, and 7 members have been approved. The announcement was put out yesterday. Members who would like to share additional comments regarding the Druid Hills project can reach out to the Druid Hills Advanced Planning Team by sending email messages to the planning team at druidhillsprojects@fairfieldglade.cc. Information concerning the Druid Hills Advanced Planning Team is also available on the Community Club website. And that is our April update from across the board. The next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report. Bruce?
Yeah, thanks, Ken. I'll refer to the handout that you have. We went through the first quarter of the year in a very strong financial position. Looking at the balance sheet in sewer, we had over $4.4 million total cash compared to $3.4 million at the end of March of last year, which is a positive variation of just over $1 million. For the Property Owners Association, we have $1.8 million of capital cash, $6.5 million of operating cash, for a total of $8.4 million of cash, compared to $6 million at the end of March of 21, which is a positive variation of $2.3 million. On the cash flow sheet, you'll see that sewer continues in a positive direction after 3 months for the year-end forecast, variation to budget of $28,800, driven by continued increases in tap fees from new home starts. POA also continues in a positive direction after 3 months with a year-end positive forecast variation of $22,000. All departments' forecasts right now are within 1% of their 2022 budgets. Amenity also has a positive year-end forecast variation to budget equal to $139,000, with golf representing the majority of that positive variation at $118,000, driven by 1,457 more rounds than budget to date. The POA and amenities year-end forecast variation is favorable to budget by $161,000. I would comment that with just 3 months under our belt and our 3 of our slower months, the year-end forecast is not as firm as I'd like it. I would tell you that at the end of the second quarter, about mid-year, we'll have a really good handle on the forecast toward the end of the year. So there's more data to come with that. I've had a very positive first quarter, which positions us well because we're now entering the busy time of the year. So if we come out of the first quarter positive, that's a really good note. I'd tell you, I'd ask you to note the additional forms and charts that I added. Every quarter, I'm going to do that so that you have additional information year to date. Some of those charts aren't worth looking at, quite frankly, on a monthly basis, so I'm going to include them quarterly. And that includes the charts of the PP&E chart, the equity chart, the golf and the F&B dashboards, and the capital project update. So I'll be providing those again in July after we finish the first half of the year. My favorite chart in all those charts is the debt chart. Because if you look at the debt chart, next month in May, we will pay off the last payment on this building. And the next time I give you a debt chart, the number on the right is going to be 0. We won't have any debt at the end of the second quarter. So feel free to email me, call me if you have questions or comments. Are there any questions today from the data there? We sent that out early, and I did that intentionally so that you'd have an opportunity to see it before you walked in here and got a Paso of information, so that was my intent. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. General Manager's report, Bob?
Okay, thank you. We've completed now 2 additional directional signs on Peavine. The one right at Robin Hood Park just before Sneed is completed. Then also the one before Westchester and Catoosa is completed. See, they have finished the stone columns at the one just before Fairfield Boulevard, so the sign on that should be going in shortly, hopefully here by the end of this week or early next week. Other community improvements, we've heard from the contractor that they intend to start paving, asphalt paving roads next week. We are first on the list, but of course that's always weather dependent and what have you. And then still the county road superintendent has told us that they would start their chip and seal program here in the month of May, so we can get a lot of that done here before June 30th and then get caught up by the end of the calendar year. Bruce mentioned the golf rounds, very good year to date. You know, last month, or about through last month, 11,500 roughly over budget, and that's due to better weather in March. March was a good weather month. For the year, average rounds per course per day open were 77 compared to 83 in 2021. Now in 2021, we had about the same amount of rounds, but we're open fewer days. So we had a lot more people playing on those days that we were open. I think that's probably pent-up demand from post-COVID as well, kind of helped that situation in 2021. The lawn disposal or leaf and lawn debris disposal program. So there's going to be an email going out tomorrow afternoon, but the game plan for May is that we're going to allow residents to put out 1 bag of either leaves or yard clippings in their weekly garbage disposal. So they can have their normal household garbage plus 1 bag of leaves or lawn debris. No sticks, things of that nature. The transfer station will not take those. So this is kind of a trial program that we're going to try for the month of May, see how that goes, reevaluate it in May, and then we'll have another update at the end of May for the game plan for June. We're limiting it to begin with because we're not sure the impact on our sanitation program and what have you. So that's why we're only doing 1 bag per household per week. So any questions? Tom, if you could go to the microphone.
Can you just give us an update on that whole permit thing and everything else that transpired with the leaf dump? Why, you know, the permit's gone away? Are we doing anything?
Well, there's never a permit, and there's actually not a permit needed for the leaf dump, but what we had was a situation where there's a wet weather stream right in the middle of our existing leaf dump. And we have a lot of leaves there that are decomposing, and that was getting into that wet weather stream and then going downstream. So as a result of that, the TDEC said that, you know, we can't allow that, and so y'all really need to close the leaf dump, especially since that stream is right in the middle of it. So we've worked with them. They've given us 6 months from April 1st to clean it up. Primarily that's going to be getting rid of all the leaves that are there. Some of the larger debris is mounded, and that can stay and kind of almost create a berm to protect the stream. And then we have to do some things in the stream itself, putting rocks and other control measures to try and keep any decomposing leaves or other matter out of the stream. So that's what's going on. So we've got 6 months to get it cleaned up, and but it's shut down permanently. We are looking at long-term solutions, and that could be another leaf dump, or that could be that we actually have a weekly yard waste disposal pickup program, curbside, which is kind of what we're trying for the month of May, see how that works out.
Bob, I understand that Hopper still has his dump site across from the Heatherhurst golf course entrance.
No,
That's the alcohol-
no.
that was not a hopper site, that was actually a Wyndham site.
It's a Wyndham
And
site.
that's been totally closed down as well. So that was probably a few years ago, they closed that down.
Do they have to clean up that area, or?
They did, yes.
Oh, they did,
Yeah,
so-
Yeah, they again worked with T-Deck to get that area cleaned up and then closed down as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It's the stream in the back side of that one, Nico, that was the concern. That's why you still see the mounds of material at the front side, but it's the stream at the back that needed to be cleaned up.
Didn't Wyndham's property adjoin Lake Gillette, and wasn't that also a similar type of problem?
I'm not that familiar with the
Yeah, I don't know about
situation,
that
so I
one.
couldn't
Okay.
give you a comment on that.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Barb, the resort report, please.
Good morning. Wyndham timeshare visitors year-to-date is 11,148. Month-to-date is 2,454. The month of March, Wyndham timeshares were at a 64% occupancy rate. Timeshare revenues for 2022 year-to-date, the center is $4,459, which is 7% of like revenue. Racket sports is $2,448, 4%. Dartmoor is $1,456, which is 2%. St. George, $1,838, which is 3%. Golf, $26,988, which is 6%, and food, $30,852, which is 15%. And year-to-date totals is $68,041, which is an average of 8%. So from 2021 at this time, we're up $15,000 with timeshare revenues. Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Architectural control report, Sam?
Thank you. The Architectural Controls Report for March is as follows. Miscellaneous approvals, changes to the houses that are built. Through March 2022 is 333 compared to 345 last year. New homes approved through March of 2022 is 39 compared to 27 at this time last year. New homes completed, including manufactured homes, through March of this year is 32 compared to 17 last year. Is there any question?
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, at this time, we have, there's no unfinished business for the board, and we have, under new business, 2 purchase requisitions that we're going to consider today. Chief Williams, for the final time, asking for money.
Yes, sir. You knew I wouldn't leave without asking. I have 2 purchase requests. The first one is for 2 used police vehicles in a total of $48,000, which is all encompassing of the police packages that we have to purchase and put on those vehicles. These 2 vehicles came from Hillsborough County, Florida, and they're very good vehicles. As we all know, you can't find a new vehicle in today's times. And then the second PR is for a third vehicle to add. It's an addition to the fleet for $27,000. Again, that's all encompassing with the police package. It also came from the Hillsborough County, Florida Sheriff's Office. These were administrative cars, not cars that were used for daily patrol. The reason for the first 2 vehicles were that we had 2 Ford Explorers who were no longer fit for patrol. Those vehicles have several, almost 200,000 miles on them, and they just gave out on us.
Okay?
Yeah, let me add a couple of things to that, Chief. With 2 vehicles that were literally out of commission, we were short on cars, so the chief came to us and said, we need to get some cars. So he dug and found an outfit in Chicago that deals with this whole used, I'll call it used cars, police cars, but that's probably not a very nice term. It's because the cars we found are really in great shape. He mentioned we got 2 cars for $48,000. It's $24,000 a piece equipped, right,
Yes.
Chief? Now, And previously, if you were buying a new car, we're talking around $40,000 to $45,000 for a car to do that. So it was really very good that the chief found that. So what I did was I asked the board to, chief submitted the PR. I sent the PR to the board asking them to give us approval to go ahead and do this, because if you don't get the car when it's sitting there, it'll be gone in a matter of days or hours. And so the board approved that unanimously. The same with the other car, the one single car that we added to the fleet. We added a car to the fleet because of the demand that we've got with the police department and all the things that they're into. So we added a car, and again, we got that for $27,000. And I sent that to the board, and they also unanimously approved that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to officially, in public, approve those two PRs. So Chief, thanks for digging in, and thanks for finding those cars for us at those kind of prices.
Well, I appreciate the board's support on this, because they were much needed. And if we get a phone call, we can't say we don't have a car to get there. So.
Right, that's the thing.
Okay, so may I have motion to approve the $48,000 PR for the 2 used police vehicles?
I so move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then may I have a motion for the $27,000 to purchase the 1 used police vehicle?
I so move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The PRs for both the 2 used police vehicles and the 1 used police vehicle are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
That's the last time I'm going to do that for you, though, Chief.
Promises, promises,
Yeah, I
promises. This morning, there is no update from Fairfield Glade Resident Services. Mr. Druid was not feeling well this morning. So we'll take comments from the floor, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes in length.
Tom Ratcliffe. Couple of things. So I noticed in the financial report, and Bruce, I'm not sure where to ask these questions, so I'm bringing them here. You have the food and beverage in here, but there are no comments at all by any of the members of the board as to the financial results, some of the highlights, that type of thing. I did hear the rounds of golf, but I didn't hear the rest. So can someone give us an update as to where we stand, specifically how we feel we're trending on things like cost of sales, labor, those type of things that are on the report, but we don't seem to want to talk about it, or I just don't understand. So that's first ask in my time. The next piece that I have is regarding status update again on where we sit with the easement with the developer, the Druid property. Is there an update? Have we gotten those in place, especially with the easements? I think we're going on about a year since the work has been done, maybe longer. So I'm looking for an update from the board on that. And then finally, at the last board meeting, we heard a number of things. One in particular was from the mayor regarding the lot sale, and I didn't hear anything on that, but I did hear at the last meeting from the mayor, our lots aren't attractive, can't sell them. I'm paraphrasing, I'm sure I'm not totally accurate on the comments, but if that's truly the case, what's happening again with the board, and what are we doing to try to make them more attractable and make them more marketable? Thank you.
Okay, you want to talk about food and beverage at all?
Food and beverage, if you look at page 5 of the handout in your package today, and you go to the year-to-date area, you can see sales are right about on budget, only about $4,000 off budget. Cost of sales a little higher than budget, but look at cost of sales in terms of a percentage of budget. And our budget was 44%. We're at 45%. So we're not way off, but definitely that's something that we want to keep an eye on. But obviously, if y'all have heard, prices are rising, food prices in particular. So that's an area that we're always keeping an eye on and trying to find the best pricing for our food. If you look at labor, and really I focus more on percentage of sales, labor, our percentage of sales is 68%, and the budget was 80%. So we're doing very good on labor, and that's really what's driving the savings. And if you go all the way down to the bottom line, you can see that our the actual column is $121,000 subsidy. The budget was $151,000, so we're about $30,000 to the good through March. And again, most of that is really driven by the labor savings of about $27,000. So through March, we're in good shape. And really what you find is that November to March are the months where you really have a lot of subsidies because you just don't have the revenues that you have in the busy season. So to be ahead of budget by almost $30,000 through March is good. So we're pleased.
Are we fully staffed? Is that
Uh,
another issue is a concern, especially when you look at labor from last year?
Right. Yeah, there's a couple, we're, for the most part, fully staffed to take care of Stonehenge. I think they're looking for a part-time cook position. Front of house is fully staffed. Kitchen is primarily fully staffed. So we're in good shape from that standpoint. But always looking for good employees because you find that people have to go on vacation, things of that nature. So if you can find some good part-time employees in food and beverage, you always want to snag them. Yeah.
Okay, with regards to Druid Hills easement, we are continuing to speak with the declarant on getting an easement for the driving range at Druid Hills. So those negotiations are continuing. And Greg, did you want to talk a little bit about the lot program?
A little bit on lots. We're putting pieces of the strategy together on trying to get our inventory down. This does not include the county lots. I won't speak to those because we're not involved with the sale or anything like that. But we noticed for years that our inventory keeps going up. So we've taken a couple positive actions. One of them just happens to be the market. The market is up and people are wanting to build here, and we're seeing an increase in lot sales, our lot sales. So we had good lot sales for those over the first quarter. The second thing we did, and really Amy and Bob kind of brought it to the lot committee, and it's a good suggestion, we acted on it, was that we sent out letters to people who had empty lots adjacent to their lot that we owned, and said, are you interested in buying that lot? Or green space or whatever. Not to merge it, just to buy it. And what are the numbers, Amy? I know you gave them to us yesterday.
We have 36.
Greg, you need to get closer to your microphone.
I'm sorry. Amy, what are the numbers that we talked about yesterday?
We have 36 that have sold.
Yeah, so that's 36 lots. So, but the thing you got to be careful with is still, even though we've increased the lot sales, if you took a look at 21 versus 22, they're up. The thing that we still get, are we still getting more lots back than what we're selling? So it's going to be an ongoing thing, and part of that is the age of people. The lots that they owned are being transferred to children who don't want to move here. And our attitude has been is we're going to take over those lots rather than get them into the county process, because once they get into there, it's a lot more difficult to get them back. So we've been doing that. So that's kind of the overall where we are. You got some specific questions you're looking at Tom?
The specific is more in the county. What are we doing to work with the mayor, since he says our costs hinder him from selling our lots? What are we doing to reduce those costs? Ollie, last meeting, that's what I heard.
I heard it probably a little differently, and Mayor, you can correct me.
You can repeat his question.
Oh, the question was, is that he had heard, he thought he heard last month that the mayor was saying that our cost of our lots were inhibiting his ability to sell them. What I would say, the way I look at it, okay, and I think this is consistent with you, Mayor, and if it's not, you're going to correct me. But the point is that the lots that go to the county are usually because they haven't paid their county taxes and that type of thing. And there's a whole process that's followed there. Our lots, from the standpoint of our costs incurred that we put into that, are minuscule, I think, in terms of what those are. So I don't think that's the cost of our lots that are impeding it. It's just that some of our lots are not very attractive to build on. And I think that's probably the bigger issue. And we find that even with the lots that we own, there's a number of them that, quite frankly, as Misty has always reminded me, they're never impossible to build on. They're just pretty costly sometimes. And those are not very attractive lots. Now, the ones that we have that are fairly easy to build on, people are buying. And I don't know if that spills over to the county or not, because we don't always see that. We don't get a report from the county in terms of how our lots are being sold. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add, Mayor, to that, or?
I'd say that's accurate. People aren't even buying, what is Class C?
Yeah, Class C lots.
They're not buying those. I do hear the transfer fee a lot, and the POA dues, they don't want to pay that.
Yeah.
But anything that's buildable, generally, we can sell. There's not many of those, though.
But the POA dues and the transfer cost is in any lot that we sell here. So, that's not just limited to the county, and it's put in the closing costs. And of course, your POA dues is what you sign up for when you move in here. So that's nothing that we're going to act on. That's just what it is. Does that help?
I think too, from what I've seen in the mayor's emails, the lots that have been sold through the county, they're selling for a lot less than we're selling our lots for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should also mention in the lot program that we said that we sent out to residents with the empty lots next to them, those are all all A lots. We're not doing anything right now with B or C lots. We've sold some B lots over the last quarter, but no one's buying the C lots because there's no plan on when that's going to be developed. So if you're buying a C lot, it's probably a very long-term investment, and you probably have other places you would invest the money. So C lots are not moving really at all, and we really don't have a program, nor will I think we will have a program to deal with the C lots. Okay?
Okay, any other questions from the floor? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion to adjourn is passed. We stand adjourned.
Good job.
No.